Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Trust Relations, the podcast.
I'm here with April, the founder of Trust Relations and the doyen of all things public relations.
And of course, we're joined by the wonderful Hamish, our marketing lead and expert in the space, who I like to call my marketing other half.
We're tackling some of the biggest topics in news and integrated marketing and learning from the mistakes that make headlines or sink brands.
So join us as we have a chat about what works, what doesn't, and what we have to say about all of it.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Trust Relations, the podcast.
Coming at you from the same room. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
It was very exciting. For those of you who don't know why, April is here in Australia visiting for work, a workation, is it?
It's a workation.
A workation?
Yeah.
Where
Did you make that up?
It came to me just now.
I was like, is that a word?
It is a word. It's a real word now. Because we've used it 3 times.
Workation. It's going to show up behind us, like in the mirror, like Candyman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to now be accepted into the Urban Dictionary, and from there, everything becomes real. But April is in Australia for a couple of weeks for work and a bit of fun and relaxation. So welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, it's fun to be here.
How have you found it?
I mean, amazing.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Was there any question?
No, not really.
Okay.
Rhetorical.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You just want me to brag about your country?
It's so good.
The food in Sydney is off the chain.
You are enjoying it. You've been to some good,
so happy.
Good restaurants.
Bomb. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of my friends from Australia who is back in the US now is like, food in Sydney is bomb. Yeah.
And we've turned the weather on for you finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
You were a little slow on it though.
You told me you were bringing the weather with you. So who was slow?
All right, fair.
Yeah. I'm bringing the weather with me. Don't worry. I've got this covered. A week of rain.
I brought rain.
Yeah,
I didn't say what kind of weather.
No, you did. You said it's going to be beautiful. I remember.
All right. Well, I failed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I failed you.
That's okay. But no, good to have you here. April has been hard at it already, meeting, greeting, and networking.
Yeah.
Successfully.
Yes.
So it's going well.
It's going very well. Yeah.
So,
made new friends.
Yeah.
Went to Chinatown, did some karaoke, did some dart throwing.
Yeah.
Some bowling.
Yeah. It was a big day.
Built some sandcastles, saw dolphins.
Yeah, you went up to Newcastle.
Yeah. Danced at a park with a child. That sounded weird.
That doesn't sound good. A child that you know.
My friend's daughter.
Yes.
Yes. That sounds less weird.
Yeah, it does sound less weird.
And I had a gluten-free donut. I didn't tell you.
No, you did. The Uchi or...
No, they had gluten-free donuts at this fair in the park in Newcastle.
Yeah. Okay.
Went to a lighthouse.
Yes. That's been busy.
Yeah. Went to the Botanical Garden. Went to the Opera House.
As I said yesterday, we should be on commission now for Tourism Australia. We are really selling it.
Yeah.
So,
just paying us. Pay up.
This episode is brought to you by a insert name of sponsor. But no, it's been amazing to have you here. And the exciting part is people can follow your real life adventures.
They can.
Yes,
on
they can.
Instagram.
Yeah, follow the Trust Relations Instagram account and you'll be able to see everything April's up to.
Well, not everything.
Well, not everything.
The public thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean...
I have no idea what you're talking
about. The professional.
Now I want to know what you've been up to. Dancing with a child in the park and now this. Okay. This has taken a very rapid turn.
Very weird turn, yeah.
But yeah, no, so welcome.
Thanks.
As I said, everyone tune in, follow her and all the adventures on Instagram. And I'm sure that there'll be much more to come.
Yes. Blue Mountains this weekend.
Yeah.
More karaoke.
Yeah, that's right. It's a big weekend.
More darts.
Yeah, the darts. I forgot about the darts.
More weird restaurants in Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all on.
It's all happening.
Yeah. All right. Should we dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So for our first segment, we're jumping into the news of the week.
Yes. Now, this one's interesting, given that ad spend has declined for the 4th consecutive month, which can often be a precursor and an alarm that goes out for what's going to happen at the end of the year with holiday spends and what consumer sentiment's like. So a bit of an alarming trend from what I've read, that spend across the board was down over 20%, I think, led by majority of streaming and TV and radio, although it was offset a little bit by digital and even, would you believe, newspaper advertising.
I saw that was year over year, it's up.
Yeah, which I thought was very bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. I think that there's probably some logic in this. I think that when you think about it, people were streaming, there was growth year over year with all of the streaming platforms. And as we've discussed, Netflix started to come off the boil last quarter, and they therefore were not sure what's happening. And so I'd say as subscribers left there, advertising dollars left as well. And so they've seen a plummet there. It'll be interesting to see what their new figures are. It'll be interesting to see what Netflix does with this whole new ad model that they've brought in as well, and whether or not that will address some of that. And I wonder whether or not they were seeing ad dollars go out before, which is why they've brought this in to try and bring people back. But I think the digital spend is up year over year, which is exciting. But I think it means that, you know, there's people advertising more on all of the myriad platforms now, whether it's Meta's platforms, Google's, TikTok's, so on and so forth. So I know Google's advertising was down, I think, though, wasn't it? Did you see that in the article as well?
Let's look.
Yes, I think it was.
It's on here, right? Yeah, Google took the highest toll with revenue falling 13%.
Yeah, led by search revenue. So people are not putting as much money into search. And look, there could be a few reasons for that. I mean, one of the articles I read yesterday was that amongst Gen Z, or Gen Z, as we call it in Australia, but Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, I don't know. Gen Z, we'll call it Gen Z.
The letter, it's not a word.
Yeah. Amongst Gen Z, TikTok has become the search platform of choice. So if that's the case, and they have such large share of wallet now, and they have large share of voice, people using that as their primary platform for search, Google is going to take a hit, and then as advertisers put their dollars elsewhere.
Yep.
So I can see why digital has been a little bit more buoyant, but I think overall I find it probably a telling sign of the times. Let me
telling sign of the times.
A telling sign of the times.
Wow.
The bells are tolling.
It's like a tale of two cities over here. What's happening?
It is. Yeah, I know. I think it's ominous. Given everything happening in the world, you have your midterm elections, so there's uncertainty. There's the war in Ukraine, which is still going on. There's energy issues going on through Europe and everything like that. And so demand's down across the globe. China is looking like it's going into a recession. So worldwide, everyone is.
You censored yourself.
I censored myself. That's right.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
Right after China, too.
That was very meta. But I think when you tie all of those elements together, worldwide demand is down. And so I think that the uncertainty that marketers are feeling is being reflected in some of the ad dollars that are being spent. And they're being more targeted because you can through digital than that spray. And as much as it's improved, the spray and pray approach of TV and those channels, it's interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting time.
Yep.
Not necessarily a good time.
Did you say it was meta because of meta?
No, I didn't say it was meta. That would be meta.
I know.
Meta.
I was like, did you just take it Inception level 4?
Yes, I did, because meta's not allowed in China.
I had to ask. I was like, wow, I see what you did there. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
But it was an accident.
No, it was on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Or was it?
I see what you did there.
We could keep going.
So, and do you think that this spells anything for where things are going next year?
Look, I think it's going to be interesting to watch. The buoyancy of the market in North America with the holiday season coming up. I mean, there's some big ticket items coming. I mean, there's Halloween, obviously, literally around the corner.
Yeah.
We record, then you have Thanksgiving, you have Black Friday, then we hit the holiday period of Christmas and all of that, and the other, a couple of other religious holidays. So there is a big period of potential market spend from an advertising point of view and a consumer point of view, those will be the telling times for what happens in the beginning of next year, I think.
Yep.
I think if anyone can predict it, it's not me. But I think, it'll be interesting. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting even in talking to clients now. I feel like some people are concerned about the economy and state of the world, and some people are just moving along like everything is status quo. So it'll be interesting to see how much of that comes true and how much of it doesn't. But
yeah. So I think it's ominous. Doesn't necessarily need to be disastrous.
Yeah, agreed.
That would be the takeout, I think. Watch this space for what happens next year, but it is interesting to see the trends moving. Yeah, agreed. All right, I think that was a nice little bow you put on that there. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm going to take a drink. I think you might have even braided its hair. Okay, so in our next segment, we are going to discuss a recent marketing conundrum. And we call this segment Marketing Conundrums. You wouldn't have thought so. No. Yeah, we could have called them things that confuse the brain from a marketing point of view, but it wasn't quite as tidy. No, that's a little long-winded. So today's marketing conundrum is the parent company launches a sub-brand, but the messaging of the sub-brand wants to say about itself isn't really any different. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Well, over to you. Look, let's give some context to it so that we can actually paint a picture for everybody. What's the sub-brand doing? Is it offering something different? Is it not offering something different? I mean, you're saying it doesn't do it, but why have they launched a sub-brand? What's the subtext? Well, that's a good question. What if they think that it does something different, but it doesn't? Servicing a different segment of the market. Yeah. Okay, let's go with that. But let's say that it barely does. Okay. I think... Not that we've ever had this happen. No, I think the catch in this one is that the brand is launched, the management is super excited, and they're ready to take this to the world. It becomes an almost instant game of politics because you have to do the right thing by them as a brand, which is have some hard conversations, I think, saying, what are we doing? And respecting them enough because maybe they have a vision they haven't communicated. And so I think it's about finessing how you have that hard conversation in a way that extracts some of that information. Because maybe they've launched the sub-brand knowing that it's meant to target a different audience because they have a product rollout which is going to tailor that and be tailor-made for them. It's not ready for launch yet. And so maybe it's a conversation about, do we need to launch right at this point in time, or do we need to get the platform or product ready to go? And if they say, well, we're going to launch in 6 months, why? Understand that a little bit more so that you can, as I said, extract some of that information out and you can turn that into something more meaningful. I think it's also good to understand, well, are they just doing it because they're looking to distract the market from a competitor, suck the oxygen out of the room, do some of those things which are a little bit more nuanced? I think it's sometimes about having that conversation. If after all of that, there's nothing new that comes out of it, I throw to you and say, so we have a strategy here that is nearly identical. We're going after a slightly different sub-market. We've got a slightly different persona which we've generated. And these are the pain points. We now need to turn this into something which is a bit more meaningful. What do you do? I'd have to do more digging too, because one of the possibilities is that they're launching the sub-brand so that the umbrella brand can then diversify and encompass more things. So it's possible they're almost sort of handing down this brand to the sub-brand so that then the parent brand can branch out. So if that's the case, then I think it's more of a story about the parent company and its expansion plans and its, plans for growth, et cetera. And what does the CEO have to say about it, kind of thing. If it's more about the sub-brand serving some different segment of the market or offering some slightly different variation on the service, then I think you have to look for either they don't have any examples of why this is needed from the case study standpoint or from market research that demonstrates why they're doing it.
then I think you have to find research that exists about some trend in the industry and try to fold the spin off into the trend. So I don't know how else you would do it.
No, look, and I think the conversation just has to be had, understanding why they're doing it, because they're not going to invest time and money into it if they don't have a vision. Sometimes clients and companies just don't know how to articulate that, and that becomes the problem, rather than, well, it's exactly the same. So I think it is dissecting why they're doing this and learning what was the impetus behind it.
Yeah.
Because I can think of examples where they've not launched sub-brands, but parent brands. You look at Google launching Alphabet, Facebook launching Meta. They went in reverse.
Yeah.
They were doing the same thing for all intents and purposes at the beginning. And there was a strategy behind it that the layperson doesn't necessarily know, that maybe didn't need to be communicated until a later point in time. So I think sometimes it's about understanding the vision. And the vision for Alphabet was, well, Google can then be spun off to concentrate on search. They can put money into doing all of their other things, from AI to investing in map technology to all the other things that they're looking to do, that it gives them an opportunity to diversify. And then that becomes a story. But at the point in time where they're launching sub-brand, inverted commas for those not watching, it can have strategic impetus behind it.
Did you say inserting commas?
No, inverted.
Oh, inverted commas, like commas. These are air quotes.
Air quotes, inverted commas. Speech marks.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I think that sometimes it's about understanding why and then looking to articulate it. So it's difficult conversations. We don't understand what the hell you're saying, client. Please give us more information so we can do our best to portray you to the market. Do that, and we have a stronger platform.
I like it.
I think that's the approach. It would be interesting to know if you've got any ideas about this, wherever you're streaming, or come back to our site and give us some commentary. Because it would be interesting to see if you've seen similar things to this, whether or not you've done something that you were questioned on, whether or not you had to question a client. Love to hear from you.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
So with that, should we thank our listeners?
Yes. Now, can I do something special today?
Oh my.
Now, I think I've told you this.
I'm a little scared.
I've told you this. I'd like to do a shout out to my my son and daughter, who have become avid listeners.
I love it.
Xavier and Cooper, thank you for listening. You have binge listened all the episodes and keep saying, when's the new one come out?
I love it. I just learned about this, that you're a big fan.
So thank you for listening. For everyone else, thank you for listening. And don't forget, you should subscribe, rate, and share our show wherever you like to stream our content.
Yes. Also, before we sign off, don't forget about this week's offer code.
Yes. Now,
you're going to do your fancy voice?
Visit the link in the show notes below, and please use Trust Analysis 16 as the code to ensure you have a chance to win a free trust analysis workshop for the first to enter. New clients qualify, but don't forget, there are some terms and details. Check them out on our website or wherever you have found this podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time.
See you.
From Down Under. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are we staying both in frame and with enough? I mean, I don't know if it shows how close together we're sitting. It's very fun. It's like, he's afraid. I bite, so he's afraid.
No, I'm getting a sore neck leaning like this.
You gonna change my picture? You make it your picture?
I know.
You gonna make it our picture?
No, because you're looking back and forth at the screen. You're not just like dead staring at each other. That'd be weird. Okay. But that's not what you're doing.
I think just add that to the weird collection of dancing with kids, whatever you're getting up to in your private time. and then that. Chalk it up.
Oh, I gotta sound interesting.